Level 1. You are 23 when the night decides you. The city presses its palms against the glass. You answer a call you don't understand. A death leaves an empty chair at a mahogany table. You slide into it because everyone expects you to. It's easier than saying no. You inherit a ledger and a legend. Names, numbers, promises, heavy paper. You touch ink that smells of other people's fear. On the street, they whisper, "You're the new blood." Inside, men test the weight of your silence. Your hands shake, but you hide it with a smile. You tell yourself you'll be different. You tell yourself you'll fix the old debts. You tell yourself power will solve what grief couldn't. The city mirrors your ambition back at you. It looks darker than you imagined. You sleep less. You wake with new names on your lips. You do what people tell you leaders do. You sign. You nod. You move pieces on a board. You pretend the pieces are chessmen. They are not. You start by saying yes. You don't know the cost yet. Level 2. The first command is small in measure and large in consequence. You order a shipment rerouted. You think logistics. You do not think bodies. But the shipment is late. Someone dies waiting. You hear of it in the morning as if it were weather. You realize your signature has gravity. You feel it like a bruise. People bow to you now. They worship the sound of your approval. You taste power, and it is bitter. You discover the rituals of the men who kept the chair before you. Late meetings, dim rooms, conversations that end when doors close. They teach you how to make threats feel like offers. They teach you how to read silence like a ledger. You learn fear's grammar. You learn to say nothing and mean everything. At night, you replay the day like film on loop. You study faces and catalog guilt. Every reflection is an interrogation. You begin to believe your own authority. That belief is a dangerous currency. Level 3. The months pass and fingerprints become fingerprints of the city. You sign favors into law. You broker peace by assigning blame. You are praised in rooms whose lights you pay for. You are cursed on stoops you never visit. The press calls you a prodigy. Your family calls you a monster. You are both. You see the inequality of your own decisions. A rule here, a cutoff there. Veins of the city constrict. You feel the moral architecture bending. You try to put it back. You try to build schools, fund clinics. You pay for funerals in anonymous envelopes. It does not balance the scales. One night, someone leaves a child's shoe at your gate. You touch it, and your throat closes. You cannot cry where they are watching, so you count instead. Every life you touch creates ripples. Each ripple hits someone you've never met. The ledger keeps adding up. You begin to distrust your instincts. You wonder if the instincts were ever yours. Level 4. Betrayal smells like cheap tobacco and expensive whiskey. It arrives in whispers first, then in faces that laugh when they used to pray. Your closest lieutenant, your oldest friend, stops returning your calls. They sit across a table and smile like it's a game. They tell you they did what you taught them to. You taught them survival. They say they did it for the family. Which family, you ask? They have a new script, and your name is a line they cross out. You feel the barbed edges of paranoia scrape your skin. Trust costs more than blood. You lay traps and find your hands tremble while doing it. You watch allies negotiate with enemies. You realize you are a node, not a god. Your advisors promise loyalty with the sort of eyes that bargain. You know how stories end when kings stop listening. You begin to sleep with a plan and a gun on the same pillow. The nights grow longer and louder. You grow smaller inside the room. Fear becomes a companion that neither leaves nor forgives. Level 5. Violence comes as calculus. It arrives because someone misread mercy for weakness. A raid, a shattered bone, a mother who will never call again. Your hands are clean and filthy at once. You did not pull the trigger, but you signed the order. You walk through a hospital ward and count how many of them are not your people. Each face is a mirror you avoid. When your name is whispered in prayer, you flinch. You thought power would armor you. It merely changed what could hurt you. You are haunted not by enemies, but by choices. By the small expedients that led to a child's empty desk. You try to explain it to yourself in a mirror. You try to find the version of you that made the vow to protect family. You begin to see protection as a canyon between intent and result. You try to close the gap, and every attempt widens it. You dream of a life as ordinary as dust. You open your eyes and find the ledger still waiting. Level 6, the police clamp down. Alliances fracture under pressure. A rival offers truce in exchange for your silence. You laugh because silence has a price tag. You see judges nodding off to the rhythm of money. You see children growing up in the shadow of your empire. You realize you're not building legacy. You're building a mausoleum. Your name carved into concrete that will last only as long as greed does. People you love whisper that you could leave. Leave where? You ask. A cheap apartment with cheap coffee and a clean conscience? Is that currency enough to buy back what you've taken? You hold the choice, like a loaded coin. Heads. Keep control. Live in the bunker of power until it collapses. Tails. Walk away and leave a vacuum that will devour someone worse than you. There is no third side. You realize the city's need for order will birth a new monster if you quit, and your guilt sits heavy with the knowledge that your staying breeds suffering too. Level 7. You make a decision that doesn't feel like victory. You broker a surrender. Small, strategic, silenced by lawyers. You hand over ledgers to men in suits who pledge reform. They smile, and you know smiling is an old uniform. You step out under a sky that tastes like rain and rust. You are not free. Freedom would require making amends that receipts cannot cover. You start with small things. A scholarship, a clinic, a named bench in a park. You try to give faces back faces. You visit a mother and say, "I'm sorry," and find your voice breaks. It is not enough. Some nights you return to the chair and sit there for an hour. You remember the weight of silence and the cost of decisions. You learn to live with regret the way survivors wear scars. You teach young people to count consequences before promises. You tell them the truth nobody ever told you. Power is a ledger that always balances, eventually. Sometimes it does so with applause. More often, it balances with absence. You close your eyes and hear the city breathe.